the number 36 Truex Chevrolet, Awesome Bill Elliott. He drives the number 19 Dodge Dealers Dodge, Old Owensboro, Kentucky buddy of mine, Jeremy Mayfield. And the driver of the number 1 Bass Pro Shops Tracker Chevrolet, Martin Truex Jr.
Guys, welcome to Daytona, and we're going to do the same thing with you guys to open things up the same way we did with the first group. We're going to start with Dale Earnhardt Jr. over here, and tell us how testing's going so far, Dale.
It's going pretty good. We just got a couple cars here, and we got one I'm pretty happy with, and the other one's about 10th off. But we just throw stuff at it. We got 3 whole days to do it, so yeah, just trying to get it all done and get back home and try to figure out how to put it all together.
Bill Elliott, you've had a pretty good time, Bill. You've been doing this thing now since you got off the truck, going pretty fast out there.
They've done a real good job. This car is what Boris, I guess, ran here last year. I don't know if he ran the 500, but I know he ran the 4th of July race. I think they qualified very well with it. And Jay Fry, the manager of the team, I've known him for several years now, and he called me up, and I told him no twice, and he finally twisted my arm enough, said, come down here and run. We'll run the shootout and, try to make the 500. So that's what I'm here doing. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I've had a good time this week, and they've got some awful good equipment. We'll see kind of how things shake up here at least for tomorrow in drafting practice. And it's funny, as I was driving around the racetrack, I said, the first time I was here was 4th of July, 1976. That's a long time ago.
All right, Jeremy Mayfield, you were the first one to come out during test session yesterday. I guess you were really itching to get after it.
Yeah, we thought that's pretty cool to be the first car on the racetrack, 2006, but it didn't really do us any good. We were first for a while, and that was it. And it's funny because we were first one out, and they said as soon as we went out, we made our lap, and how Ray is. He wants everybody to call him, let him know how everything's going, and everybody got on their phone. All the guys, we're on the track now. Yeah, we're first, for a little while. Then they didn't go back and tell me we were, but it was pretty cool to do that. Be the first one out, and we got a new team, and all the guys are trying to work hard and doing a great job of that. So it's pretty cool.
Martin Truex Jr., your first cup testing session. How's it going for you so far?
Well, unfortunately, we're pretty slow, but the guys are working hard. We actually sent guys home last night on a plane to start building a new car. So Junior's got a pretty good car, and we tried to build some different stuff, I guess, and it didn't work too good. So the guys are back at the shop already building another one to bring back here. So
you got 2 of them. Can you have one of yours? They're both fast.
Yeah, they're both faster than mine, but no, we're excited about it, though. The guys are working hard, and look forward to getting a little bit faster car down here for Speed Week. So we'll learn some more tomorrow, and tomorrow hopefully will be a lot more fun drafting. It gets a little boring sometimes here by yourself, so look forward to tomorrow a lot.
Well, race fans, just like the first fan forum, this is your turn to ask any question of the drivers that you'd like to. Please raise your hand. We're going to call on you. We're going to repeat the question so everybody can hear, and we're going to start with you right there. Go ahead. For all the drivers, sure. How happy are you to have less impound races? We'll start with Dale Earnhardt Jr. on this end.
I kind of, like the old format. I didn't have a lot of luck with the impound races. Just, I don't know, for me it was difficult to get the car to drive good and race trim and put the tape on it. And we eventually figured out an equation that would get the car tightened up to qualify, but it just still wasn't as much fun as having that little bit extra practice that you have on both days. And a lot of times you can go into race trim as soon as you roll off the trailer and then run, do some qualifying stuff right before qualifying starts. So it gives you an opportunity to work on the car a little more, get it tuned up on Sunday.
Bill Elliott, do you have an opinion on the less impound races this year?
Well, I'm kind of with Dale in that deal. Last year it was, you'd always been in the mode. You come in on Friday and you work on qualifying. You qualify. You come in Saturday morning. You work on race. And to go through the qualifying stuff, and then you then when the impound races came along, you go through all the stuff you try to get where it race well, and then you turn around trying to get it to qualify well, and then you didn't have enough time to really focus on both. And if you just messed up, it just made a tough day of it. And for the few races that I did, we got lucky enough that we qualified pretty decent in them, but still, it just makes it so tough. I mean, you get in that mindset, you come in, you want to qualify, you get in the qualifying mode, so you qualify practice, you qualify, then you do your race practice Saturday morning. To me, that's the best way.
Jeremy, you have any opinions either way?
Yeah, I like doing away with the impound races. I think that, like I said, this is a Cup Series. It's all about qualifying and practicing on Saturday for the race, and let us practice. I mean, the more we practice, the better cars get, the better race we put on Sunday. So that's my opinion on it. Let us practice qualifying, do our qualifying deal, and all the fans at home get to see that, and then they get to see us practice on happy hour on Saturday and race on Sunday. So I think it's better racing.
Martin Truex Jr., fresh off of back-to-back Busch championships. Congratulations on that. Any opinion on the impound stuff?
Yeah, I'm glad it's going back the old way too. Like these guys said, it's a lot better when you get to the racetrack. You get practice for qualifying, you qualify, and then you go practice for the race. It's just a lot easier for, especially the drivers, because a lot of times you put setups in your car for the race, and you go out there to qualify, and you're just hanging on, and you get what you can get. If you're 20th, you don't really worry about it too much. So it's fun when you go out there and try to get a pole and still feel like you have a chance to win the race.
All right, we have a question over here. This young man right here. All the drivers. What's your favorite track to race at? Martin, we'll start with you.
I've got a lot of favorites. This is definitely one of them. I've had a lot of fun racing here in my Busch cars, and I had a good time in the 500 last year too. So I'm looking forward to this race. It's cool that it's the first one too. So it's up there on my list. Bristol's pretty cool too, though.
Jeremy, how about you? Do you have a favorite track?
I like Daytona. I don't know if it's my favorite or not. I seem like I like all of them anymore. You go to the short tracks and have fun. You go to the mile and a half and have fun. You just treat each one of them different. And probably I can say my least favorite is probably the road courses. That's probably my least favorite. But other than that, I like all of them. But I love coming here. It's always exciting to come here for the first race. And we all love restrict plate racing up here. We love more. You pretty much rather do that than anything. Restrict plate race and run the pike all day, and I can have a good time.
Bill, how about you? If you had one track to race on, where would it be?
I got some bad news for Jeremy. This year's 500 is going to run the road course.
I knew something was going on. Something's going to be different.
The way I've looked at it, anywhere I run well, I like the racetrack. And, it's just like when Jay was talking to me a few weeks ago. I've loved Daytona. I've always had a lot of good success here, and it's
That's not what you said last year. He's first in practice, and he loves Daytona again.
I've never. Talladega's the one I said.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's my fault.
See, he's off a few states. It's no big deal. He's like that, though. But it's like he tells Ray, we're just a couple of tenths off, and we're 6 tenths off. But anyway, it's it comes back to anywhere you run well. I think that's the most important part. And throughout the years, you learn different things about different racetracks, and just like early on in my career, Martinsville was always a tough racetrack for me to run well at. And then as time went on there, I got to where I could run well there. And as time goes on, you can figure things out and go on. And that's what's neat about watching all these guys come along. Because some racetracks, if they don't take to right off, they learn something about them as their career goes on, and is able to run well everywhere. And I think that's what makes some of the better drivers today is they come in and they can make it pretty well across the board. They can run road courses, restrictor plates, short tracks, and that seems to make the lot of difference in the drivers and that experience.
Dale, how about you?
I think I like Daytona a lot. Going around Daytona is a lot of fun for me. It's you hold it wide open, it's relatively easy, but as the race gets going, the track changes and it becomes more of a handling racetrack, and that can play a role in how you're going to finish and how your car's doing. So it's a lot of fun, but like Bill said, I think the more you run, the more you learn about each track, the more you come to enjoy each track, and each one has its different characteristics that you find interesting. So there's a long list of tracks I enjoy racing on. Probably Daytona's at the top.
Okay. Yes, sir. Right here. Got it. Is the 15 coming back out?
As far as I know, I think Paul's going to drive it a couple times this year, Paul Menard. So we got like 6 or 7 races or something like that. 7. He's going to run it. He's doing pretty good, you know. So I think over the last half of last season, he learned a lot and settled down a little bit and just got more consistent. So I think he earned himself an opportunity to get a few Cup races in this year, and then hopefully we'll have him some good equipment and he can do pretty good.
All right, this gentleman right here. For Bill Elliott, okay? The question is, Bill, what do you think of NASCAR ending their affiliation with some of the elite divisions, and what effect do you think that'll have on some of the drivers from that coming up to be stars in NASCAR?
I don't know how to really address that one. I really don't have an opinion. I mean, it's funny. You look at all the affiliations that NASCAR's had. I mean, even from television to across the board, you know, and you look at the different things that's come about throughout the years. And, you know, it's just like relationships. You know, you kind of move around and you stop one. You know, if I drive for this team or drive for that team or whatever. Take me, for example. You know, you lose some relationships, but you gain others. So it's a part of a stepping stone as far as the future is concerned. And I think I guess that's the way of life this day and time. You know, you've got to be able to have building blocks to get to a point. And, you know, without looking back years ago, without the ESPNs and all the people that helped build the sport to where it's come to today, I'm kind of using that as an example. You know, you got to have those stepping stones to get to the next point. It's just like you look at racetracks that's gone away throughout the years. You know, they were stepping stones to where it's at today. And, you know, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, we all have different opinions. But, you know, you can't argue with where the sport has come to this point.
All right. Right over here, ma'am. Go ahead. Right there. Yes. For Dale Jr., okay.
How did you want your teammates to be able to exchange information that you won't be able to exchange?
Okay, now that you and Martin Truex Jr. are teammates, are you going to be able to exchange information a little bit easier than maybe you have in the past? That was the question.
Me and Martin got a good friendship, so we have always been able to talk about our cars and how they drive and whatnot. The teams themselves, I think, as far as how Martin's team generated, it's right across the hall from Tony's team, and we're actually going to move the fab department out, which is next door to the 8-car, knock a hole in the wall and put Martin's car over there, so we'll be able to, you know, kind of walk back and forth without having no big doors, and hopefully we can kind of sprinkle the cars throughout the 2 shops and build them all together. But I mean, if you look at a lot of the teams that are successful, there's not necessarily an area for each team. They all work on their cars together, and I think that's really important when you got everybody kind of working toward the same goal and everybody sees what everybody's doing between the 2 teams. So obviously, Martin built his 2 speedway cars, and we built our 2 speedway cars in separate areas, and they obviously haven't turned out to be equal. So those are some things that we need to fix for the future, to where the 2 teams can communicate and work off each other a little bit better. But as far as the personalities and all that goes, I think we're going to be a lot stronger there in the past.
All right, lady back here waving the hat. Right there with your hat. Yeah, you. For who? Dale, okay.
Yeah, Dale.
We can't hear the question. What? Dale, what do you like to do? We'll ask all the drivers this, because that's one question everybody gets asked. Dale, what do you like to do in your off time? What little of it you have?
I don't really like to do anything. I try to get away with doing nothing if I can. A wise man once told me, the less they think you know, the less you got to do. So I just try to play dumb, and I get away with doing pretty much nothing.
He's lucky he knows how to shine his
I play smart enough to hold my job. That's about it. But I spent this winter just sitting at home. I had a great time with my family and my sister, my mother, and I didn't really do anything on New Year's. I just kind of took it off. We don't really get a whole lot of time to ourselves, so just trying to get fired up, clear my mind for the upcoming season.
Bill, how about you in your off time?
Well, you know, the thing about it is, I don't know if people really realize how hard this sport is and how much dedication you got to have to it. And I mean, Dale said a lot in one sentence there, just not doing anything, but you do so much throughout the year from the standpoint of, you know, I've not run all the races now for 2 years. It is a limited schedule. You look at that side of it, and it's still busy enough to even to run a limited side, and then you turn around and do a full-time deal, and how much dedication, how hard it is. I don't, you know, it's just hard to put into, hard to describe. You know, you see these guys come and go, like Casey will call me or Jeremy will call me and say, well, I'm here, I'm there, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know, and you just forget about how much stuff you've got to do that involves this sport, and you just want to get away and do nothing a lot of times.
Jeremy, how about you?
Kind of the same thing these two guys said. You know, the off season this year seemed like it was not even off season. I don't feel like we've been off. I mean, I'm not sure about you guys, but we've been busy. You know, photo shoots and the banquet and you know, a lot of stuff going on. And I think we've had maybe 4 or 5 days really that you can just call your own. And when you got those days, they're valuable. You know, and you want to just spend them doing nothing. You know, that's pretty much what Dale said. And I just like going home for once and believe it or not, just kind of hanging out with the dogs, you know. Just kind of laying around
on this level, right?
Yeah, hang out. I mean, just lay around the dogs, you know. But it is. I mean, it feels good to do that, to be halfway normal, you know, every once in a while and just do nothing, and it feels pretty good.
I'll tell Shayna that tonight.
You didn't call Shayna a dog, did you?
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Martin, how about you? You would
Stop.
quit while you're ahead, right?
I guess we all feel about the same about it. I don't like to do much either. I just sit around and play on the computer or play video games or something. Sleep in usually till about 12 or 1 in the afternoon. That's about it. Not too much.
All right.
Right here. Go ahead.
Junior, I love you together. What were you thinking with the Enterprise commercial?
What were you thinking with which Enterprise commercial? Wait a minute. Which one? The prom commercial, Dale, where she kind of like scolds you a little bit.
Yeah.
Open the door.
I don't know. I don't write the scripts for those things, but it was cold, and I just wanted to get it over with. But I didn't get to talk to her. She was kind of good looking, so. But she was married, so.
Going to the prom?
One little technicality.
One technicality, yeah.
Rain's going to fall in everybody's life at one time or another, I guess. Yes, ma'am, right here. For Jeremy. When you're going to have a 2-legged baby.
Now, I want to hear this.
Maybe after tonight, we don't know.
Let's say, well, we're testing right now, you know what I mean? I'm in the Daytona test, you know? And, anyway, good question.
Jeremy, a wise person once said, when you're in the hole, quit digging.
Yeah. As Bill said, just stop.
I'm trying to figure out what he keeps doing it for, but so far he's kept me out of trouble, so I'm not going to say that.
Young man with the head that's bouncing up and down, going crazy there. Go ahead. For Dale Jr.
Why don't you give Kerry a chance?
He wants to know if you can give Kerry a chance. I guess he's a fan of your brother.
Yeah. I don't know. I just.
This ain't vicious crowd, man. That's your brother.
Yeah. You know, if I owned the race team, shoot, man, you know, we'd race all day long. Me and Kerry, you know, my friends. I'm bad at Mass Martin. I'm bad about hiring my friends, and that always don't work out. But you know, I don't make the calls as far as who drives what and what kind of those. But I mean, I like to think I'm an influence, but you know, I'd like to see Kerry get involved more in the business side of it. Obviously, I'm going to be driving for quite a while longer, hopefully, and you can't really tackle a lot of the business side of it if you're behind the wheel, at least, and try to be successful at both. But I'd like to see Kerry kind of get in there and run the show. I think he's got a pretty good mind for, you know, putting people in the right places. He's real good at working with people, and he's gets along with everybody. So I hope that he takes that opportunity. It's been presented to him, so hopefully he takes it.
All right, the young lady right here. For Bill, okay. Bill, do you miss racing at all? You sort of touched on this earlier about cutting back your schedule a couple of years ago, and that's a good question. I've heard it a lot. Do you have a new appreciation, and maybe it's a little more fun now that you're not in that day-to-day grind of it?
Well, I think what you do is you get a lot of the pressure off when you're not in the day-to-day grind, and you don't realize, over the years, I've been doing it. I ran all the races for 21 years, and through that, you kind of get drugged down. You have your good years and your bad years, and you kind of get drugged through it, and you're just kind of immune to a lot of things, but you don't realize how hard it is till you get out and you look at it from the other side. And I do miss a lot of the races. I miss the guys. I mean, it's fun to come hang out with these guys, but there again, I enjoy going back and watching my son Chase race. He's running go-karts around different places, and that's been a lot of fun. So to me, I've been able to flip to the other side and enjoy a lot of see racing kind of through his eyes again, and enjoy it from a different perspective, because I know, one of these days you want to lay the steering wheel down from my standpoint, turn around and try to help him from his standpoint.
I don't want to miss anybody over here. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Want to know,
He dropped his beer.
Junior's commercial.
Which commercial now for Junior? He has a lot of them. Yeah, go ahead.
The Corvette commercial with lipstick.
Ah, the Corvette commercial with the lipstick. What do you want to know about that? He wants to know who the lipstick belonged to. I have a feeling the same answer's coming out here. I don't write the scripts.
I've had a lot of people try to claim it. That was a lot of fun. That was a good commercial. Budweiser does a lot of good, does a pretty good job writing those things, but I had a lot of fun shooting it. So we had a couple extra other versions that we couldn't show on TV. They were pretty good. Yeah.
All right, young lady right over here.
She married.
Junior. Sir Junior and Mayfield. That was a statement. She loves you with all of her heart.
Are you missing some lipstick? Are you? There we go. We got a winner.
All right.
Oh, man. All right. Let's see. These lights are making it a little bit tough here. Young man back there with a hat waving like crazy. Yellow and black hat. I can see it from here. Go ahead. You're on. For Bill Elliott, sure. Michigan track, Bill. You won there 7 times. How much do you like that place?
Real well. Especially in that era, it's just like Daytona in the 80s. I mean, it was really good. And I mean, even through the 90s, we had some great runs here. And even in the 2000s, we run well here. But still, like I say, it comes back to the racetrack. For that given day, if everything's right and you hit on everything, they're a lot of fun to drive. In Michigan, the combination we had in the car and the way I drove the racetrack and all the things we put together for that era, it was a great ride. And with Melling being out of Jackson, Michigan, right there near where the racetrack is, it just made it like a second home to me.
Gentleman right here, yes. Junior? How many bush races do you think you're going to run this year, Dale?
Well, we normally run 4 or 5 with DEI, like we've been doing over the past couple of years at Daytona and Charlotte and Bristol. I asked Budweiser if I could run a couple more, because they're kind of the ones that make a call on that. And they're going to allow me to run up to 7 this year and probably up to 7 or 10 next year. It's just important to run as much as you can nowadays with the tire changing pretty much from race to race and everything else that kind of gets thrown in there. Being on the racetrack's best experience you can get, and to really be up to date and know what's happening. So trying to run more, just trying to improve my Sunday results. So I'd like to. I started this team with Navy and Mark McFarland, and pretty excited about that. That's been enjoyable trying to put that together during the off season, but we'd also like to run a couple races with that team. And we've got plans, to field a second team in that deal, so it'd be cool to get it off the ground. So we'll see.
All right. Young lady in the purple top with the black jacket, right in the middle. Go ahead. For Martin Truex Jr. Tampa last month, yeah. You apparently were on some sort of show where you did the weather, Martin. I would like to hear about that.
I wasn't. Nobody was supposed to see that. I was just messing around. Yeah, I was at there for the banquet stuff and doing a media tour in Tampa, and they showed me how they do the weather. It's crazy that the screen, there's nothing on it. When they're pointing to cities and everything like that, there's nothing on that screen. So I was just messing around with it. Nobody was supposed to see me.
Young lady right here, yes. For Jeremy, okay. After you win the championship this year, Jeremy, where's the party going to be?
Man, thank you, Ed. Well, first of all, I'll probably be in New York, be the first one. No, the first one will probably be wherever the last race is going to be, which I'm not sure what's that. Homestead, yeah. And then we're going to get on a boat right there, and we'll just carry it all the way up the coast, all the way to New York. So, and you're all invited, so everybody come down and see it. And seriously, yeah.
Even me.
Even you, Bill. Both of y'all.
Standing invitation. Wow. That boat might sink, buddy.
I'll tell you what, if any of us win the championship, you're all invited. I'll speak for all of them.
All right.
I mean, the bigger it is, the better it is, right? Then you got the media want to come in. Then we'll have commercials. It'll be a live deal. It'll be big. Well, if we don't have a boat big enough, we'll get several boats. And just take our time going up the coast, and we'll show New York, something they've never seen before. Yeah, the love boat. Bill's boat's be the love boat right here.
Next to the arm socket, the one in the yellow, right there. Go ahead. That's you, ma'am. You. Go ahead. Yes. Right there. Okay, what's the question? Make it count. He wants to know if Dale Jr. set up the go-kart for him. Where's he race? Oh, sponsor the go-kart. He's looking for sponsorship, buddy.
Dale, you want to go on that one? I'm doing all I can do with what I got. I'm only running limited. I'd have to run full time to sponsor much more.
All right, we've got time for three more questions. Right back here, the young lady that I couldn't call on. Question right back here. Shout it out. Please. One at a time. Who's asking the question?
Yeah. I'll answer. Yep. Yeah.
Did you hear it?
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He said yeah. So.
Martin, when will you move out of Junior's house?
When he raises the rent.
Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, back here. Yes, sir. Go ahead. For all the drivers, go ahead. What's the question? How would they feel about running a hot rod race? IROC race, I'm sorry. The IROC race. If you guys get lucky enough to get invited to that, Martin, because you're the Busch champion, I assume you're going to get a re-invite to that. What do you think about running that on the road course?
It's going to be exciting, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to it. Some of them guys that raced with us this year, race on the road courses a lot, and we race on ovals all the time. So it's kind of, they always kind of think we have an edge. So we'll see this year how good they are on the road course and how we do against them. I think it'll make it a lot more diverse and be a lot more fun for all of us, I think.
From a driver's standpoint, obviously, you may or may not get invited. What do you think about that concept that they're actually going back to the roots? Jeremy?
I think it's pretty cool, and the only thing they need to do is throw a dirt track in there somewhere. It'd be even cooler, But road course would be fine, I think. Do a little road course and speedways, have it all. I think you need that.
Bill Elliott?
Well, early on they did it on road courses. So we ran Watkins Glen because early on, I think in the early 90s, we went up there several times, and it was a lot of fun. It kind of balanced everything out throughout the years. I'm like Jeremy. I think we ought to run it on dirt and here and there and just everywhere.
Talladega dirt track.
Talladega dirt track.
You have a checkered flag at Watkins Glen, I know. So what about the road course here?
I mean, they're fun. I agree with what they said.
All right, last question. The young man right here. All the drivers, okay? If we could, hold down just a second. Let the young man ask the question. Go ahead. Okay, the question's for all the drivers. We'll start with you, Martin. Who gave you the most encouragement to be a race car driver?
Definitely my father. When I grew up, my father had been racing I guess since he was about 18. So when I was just a young kid, I grew up, hanging around the shop during the week and tinkering with cars, and was always asking questions, why, and just got interested in it, and loved to spend time at the racetrack and in the race shop with the guys. So definitely my father.
Jeremy, how about you?
Well, I'm not saying it's because he's sitting here, but I used to watch. Ray Abraham. All us fellas use Ray's name, right? But no, I think I used to sit back and watch Bill Elliott, Darrell Waltrip, the Pearsons, the Yarboroughs, all them guys racing. Don't blush on me now, Bill. I'm serious about that. And I thought that was cool. I was, little town, Owensboro, Kentucky, and sitting there, and then the big thing to do was watch the Daytona 500 when it come on every year. So that encouraged me to want to be up here and live the dream. So.
All right, Bill, who encouraged you the most when you started racing?
It had to be my dad and my older brother. They were probably the biggest supporters. And, my dad he never drove himself, but he always owned race cars. They came here in the early 60s and had cars that ran in a sportsman division or something down here. And throughout that, I got involved with them. And my older brother, he started a little speed shop business. And through that, they kind of drove me in this direction. So here I am.
Dale?
Obviously, my dad had a lot to do with it. But, a couple other guys, Jimmy Means was a guy I used to watch all the time, and me and his son were pretty good friends. So he had a lot to do with how involved I got in racing at a young age, and just a lot of people in the garage, crew members, crew chiefs, and people that would talk to me and that I would listen to and try to learn what I could as I was, whenever I was willing to pay attention anyways. But it's just, it was a family sports, even more so, I guess, than it is today. It was, we were in this little kind of a cocoon, if you will. When we raced, everybody pretty much knew everybody in the garage, and you walk up and down the garage, even when I was only 10, 13, 15 years old, you knew everybody. So, all those people influenced me to be around the sport.
Let's hear it for our 4 drivers that are up here on stage. And thank you very much for coming out. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Bill Elliott, Jeremy Mayfield, and Truex Jr., guys. Thanks very much for coming out.